Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're going to explore a scenario that is absolutely thrilling and, well, frankly, a little terrifying. We're going to look at the massive, invisible system that literally powers everything in our modern world and ask one very simple, very scary question. What happens if it all just shuts down? I want you to really picture this with me. You wake up tomorrow morning, do the usual, roll over, grab your phone to check your notifications, and nothing. The internet is completely gone. Now, at first, you probably wouldn't panic, right? You just think, oh, my home Wi-Fi router needs a quick reboot, or maybe your cellular provider is just having a momentary glitch. It just feels like a minor technical annoyance. Okay, let's dive into this. The very first things we'd actually notice are the sudden absences of all our daily digital conveniences. The big giants, they go dark instantly. There's no Google to search for why your internet is down. There's no YouTube or Netflix to keep you entertained while you wait it out. Your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, totally unreachable. And checking your online banking app? Yeah, that just results in that endless spinning loading wheel. But at this early stage, absolutely no one realizes it's a massive global crisis. Section 1. The first 5 minutes. A quiet collapse. So in the very first minute, your text messages and WhatsApp chats simply fail to send. Weird. By minute 3, any website you try to pull up throws a stark, blank error screen. And by minute 5, well, it's not just consumer devices anymore. The entire global internet infrastructure just stops. Think about it. Millions of people are out there simply restarting their phones, completely unaware that massive data centers have suddenly fallen silent, cloud servers have abruptly disconnected, and smart devices all over the world have just lost all communication. And that brings us to this incredibly chilling reality. Suddenly, billions of people are offline together. Just take a second to let the sheer scale of that sink in. Billions of individuals entirely stripped of their connection to the outside world, simultaneously and with absolutely zero warning.
Section 2. 1 hour without internet. The chaos spreads.
By the time we hit the 60-minute mark, the consumer economy effectively hits a brick wall. Boom! Digital payments completely freeze up, meaning businesses can no longer process credit cards or tap to pay. Ride-sharing apps literally disappear from screens, stranding thousands of commuters. Food delivery services instantly collapse. And inside corporate offices all around the globe, employees are just left sitting there, completely frozen and utterly useless in front of disconnected, dark screens. And this brilliantly illustrates how the failure rapidly scales up from just individual inconveniences to massive, system-wide breakdowns. Look at the financial markets. They're forced to initiate emergency shutdown procedures because digital trading is literally impossible. In our transportation networks, digital traffic lights in major cities start to fail, causing absolute gridlock. Out at the airports, massive delays ripple outward because the cloud-based systems tracking flights and luggage are suddenly totally unreachable. Which leads us to this profound and honestly terrifying realization: humanity has built civilization on top of the internet. This is the exact moment in our hypothetical scenario where the world truly understands the gravity of the situation. It isn't just some pesky outage. The actual foundation of modern human operation has vanished.
Section 3. Critical systems go down.
Now things get genuinely dangerous. Methodically, the pillars of public safety begin to crumble. In hospitals, doctors suddenly struggle to access cloud-based medical records. They're basically flying blind on patient histories. Emergency communication networks become massively overloaded as panicked people desperately try to call for help using traditional phone lines. And perhaps most worryingly, while some power grids might actually continue operating normally at first, their monitoring systems rely heavily on the internet. Without it, they quickly lose synchronization, risking massive, cascading blackouts.
In the dark, paranoia really sets in. Governments worldwide scramble to activate their cyber emergency teams. Without the ability to communicate globally or analyze internet traffic, state leaders immediately fear the worst. They assume they are under a massive, highly coordinated global cyber attack.
Section 4. Society disconnected.
It creates such a bizarre contrast. On one side, you have the physical, offline world, and it's strangely calm. Streets become quiet. Offices shut down early. Restaurants obviously stop taking online orders. For the first time in decades, families are actually sitting together in their living rooms without staring at screens. But on the flip side, you have a terrifying information void. People frantically rush to traditional television and radio broadcasts, just begging for answers. In the total absence of verifiable facts, rumors spread like wildfire. And without social media, a profound, intense feeling of isolation really grips the public. The digital world that connected humanity is just gone.
Section 5. The hidden dependency.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how the invisible web we've woven becomes immediately clear. You see, the internet is so much more than streaming and entertainment. It is the literal operating system for logistics, banking, communication, transportation, and even national security. Every single second, there are billions of invisible data exchanges occurring across these 5 sectors that quite literally keep civilization moving forward. And that is the stark truth of it all. Most people never even notice this vast, complex system until the very second it stops. When you consider the startling reality that over 60% of the entire global workforce relies directly on internet connectivity to function daily, the vulnerability is just staggering. We treat the internet like a fun little utility for our amusement, but we are completely blind to our total reliance on it for basic survival.
Section 6. The day after. 24 hours later.
Finally, after 24 agonizing hours, the lights of the internet blink back on. But it is a very slow, overwhelming process. Connections slowly begin returning. As the servers restart, a massive, chaotic backlog of messages and data just floods the newly opened networks. Financial markets cautiously reopen their doors, and immediately, governments and cybersecurity experts launch massive investigations to search for answers as to how on earth this happened. So the crucial point is the lesson humanity learns when the dust finally settles. For a long time, we've lived under the illusion that modern society is powered primarily by electricity, right? But this 24-hour blackout reveals the stark reality. Modern society is actually powered by connection. Electricity alone just isn't enough anymore if the machines can't talk to each other. Which brings us to our final takeaway today. The internet feels entirely invisible in our day-to-day lives, yet a single day of its absence would be felt instantly, deeply, and globally. It is quite literally the glue holding the entire structure of modern civilization together. So keep this hidden dependency in mind the very next time your screen loads a page in just a few milliseconds. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Looking at how incredibly tightly woven the digital and physical worlds are, how long could you survive without the internet? Really think about it. Your pantry, your bank access, communicating with your family. It's absolutely a question worth asking yourself. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.